I'll be with the company 5 years in October. And I also have my yoga instructor's 200-hour certificate that I earned through the Himalayan Institute in Honesdale, Pennsylvania. This is my friend Ashley, and we are going to go through a Hatha 1 level yoga practice right now, really very traditional to the Himalayan sequence. This is all access for everyone. You can use this at home. This is a great practice to do when you first wake up in the morning. So we're just going to get into the joints and glands here and work on our balance and our flexibility and also calming the breath. Okay, so we're going to stand in mountain pose and relax the jaw, unclench the teeth, and let's roll the shoulders towards the back of the room. Okay, and then we're going to roll the shoulders towards the front of the room. And we're going to stretch up the right arm, nice tall stretch with the right arm. Side bend to the left, root down through the left foot, lift up the right foot and flex the foot. And breathe. And bring it down. Lift up the left arm, nice tall stretch with the left arm. Side bend to the right. Root down through the right foot, lift up the left foot and flex the foot. And bring it down. Okay. And from here, we're going to come down onto our bellies. We're just going to come right down onto onto your belly on the mat. We're going to come into crocodile pose. So you are slightly elevated. Hands are on either side of your elbows. Chest is slightly elevated. Your feet are, pointing in opposite directions. And then you just relax down your forehead to the forearms. And this is a great place to gain some information about your breath at this point. Because you can feel your belly, rising and falling and pressing into the mat. And it really gives you some good input on where you are sort of energetically right now. And so just you're going to breathe, focusing on the breath. Inhale and exhale. Feel as your abdomen expands and then shrinks back towards the spine. Good. And then you're going to lift up your head. You're going to bring your feet in, pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. And we're going to bring our hands at chest level onto the mat. And we're going to practice cobra pose. So you're going to bring your head down, tuck the chin in towards your neck, inhale, and exhale, lift up onto your first cobra. And breathing, and then relax down. Let one cheek come down to the mat. Exhale. Return your gaze to the mat. Elbows nice and close towards your torso. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Inhale, exhale, lift up into your second cobra. Breathing and hovering. And then relax down and let the other cheek come down to the mat. Exhale. Return your forehead towards the mat. Inhale and exhale, lift up into your third cobra. Remember, pubic bone pressing down into the mat, tops of the feet pressing down into the mat, elbows nice and close to the torso, breathing, and then relax down. Exhale. Well, now we're just going to come right into child's pose. So that's just bringing your feet in, settle your bum down onto your heels, stretch the arms overhead. And if you're feeling fatigued, that's okay. Just let your forearms come down also. If you're feeling super active, I have to do my hair, feeling super active, lift up so that your finger pads are just pressing down into the mat. Palms of the hands are hollowed out, which actually then hollows out your armpits. Let's do a little side stretch here. So we're going to walk hand over hand to the right. Walk hand over hand back to the mat. And then over to the left. Breathe into the side. Good. Come back to the mat. And then from here, come right into tabletop pose on all fours. Really important to have good alignment here. So I'm just going to come to the side just to make sure that you guys see this while you're doing this at home, that your wrist is directly below your shoulder. Your knees are directly stacked underneath your hips. Okay. And we're going to come into cat-cow posture. So that's just using the breath, flow through the motions. And you're going to inhale, filling up the belly, looking up towards the ceiling on the cow. Exhale, shrinking the belly towards the spine, rounding the back like a cat. And we'll do this for 10. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. 2 more times. Good. And then return to a neutral tabletop position. And then from here, we're going to come around, just sweep our feet underneath us. We're going to come onto our backs. We have straps that we're going to use for this next part. And if you don't have a strap at home, you could always use like a scarf, or a towel, a skinny towel. So you're just going to lay down on your back. Be careful. You're good. And we're going to lasso the right arch, okay? Flex the foot facing up the ceiling. Grab a hold of both straps with your right hand. Stretch out the left arm, okay? And you're going to open up the right leg, maybe just halfway, not all the way. And you can start to feel that left hip start to pop up a bit. Try to anchor that in, down towards the floor, and then just open up a little bit more. Nice hip opener. And then bring it back. And you can switch, place your left hand on the strap, stretch out your right arm. Just be mindful of your neighbor, and then just bring it over. And this is a nice twist. And look out over the right arm. Breathe. Great for your internal organs, this twist. Look back up towards the ceiling and then lift up the leg. Good. And then bring it down. And just let it rest on the mat. Let's do it on the other side. Lasso the left leg. Stretch it up towards the ceiling. And you might notice like one leg might be a little tighter than the other. My left leg is super tight, Ashley. And so then we're just going to open up, flex, and the leg that is on the mat, let that be engaged. Flex the foot there. It's not, it's a part of the act as well. And so then just open that up, maybe just halfway. The right hip wants to pop up. So you want to try and anchor that right hip down into the mat. And you can even pull back a little bit, just a gentle, nice open stretch for the hip. And then bring that back up. Let's change hands and let's go over. Nice twist. Look out over the left arm. And then look back up towards the ceiling, being protective of the neck, and bring up the left leg. And let go. I love that stretch. Invest in a strap or, just use a scarf. It's such a nice thing to do first thing in the morning. Okay. And then we're going to bring in our knees here. Place your hands underneath your knees and you're just going to massage, just do like a hip circle for the sacrum, okay? The lower back. Just massaging the sacrum. And then reverse it. Good. Okay. And then we're just going to rocking chair up. And that's just, you probably did this like I did this as a kid in front of the TV when I was a little kid. Just rocking chair, massaging this whole spine. We'll do it one more time. Then come up to a seated position. Nice. Okay. And so from here, let's sweep back around, coming to our tabletop pose. And then from here, we're going to curl the toes under, lift up the bum, coming into your first downward dog. Okay. So look, doing downward dog, make sure that each knuckle in your hands is really pressing down into the mat. Your pointer finger and your thumb are, they're like, pointed towards each other, and like one's in an L and one's in a reverse L towards each other. And you're just going to lift up the heels and pedal out the heels. Feel the stretch in the back of the legs. Good. Lift up both heels, settle down. Feel the stretch in the back of the legs. Let the head dangle. Good. And now let's bring in the left foot just a little bit. And you're going to stretch up the right leg into a three-legged dog. And keep the hips level right now. Breathe. And then we're going to open up the hip. And you're going to look underneath. Yep, you're going to look underneath your right armpit. Bend the right knee and circle the ankle up at the top. And breathe. And stretch the leg back out. Level out the hips. Lift it up just a little bit more. And then bring it down. Back to downward dog. Bring the right leg in just a little bit. Stretch the left leg up. Open up the hip. Bend the left knee. Circle the ankle up at the top. Stretch the leg back up. Bring the hips level. And then bring it down. Very nice. Looking towards the hands. We're going to take a walk up towards the hands. And we're just dangling here. Let the hands just sort of just dangle here. You're going to walk the fingers over to the right side of the right foot. Lift up the left heel, feeling the stretch in the back of the right leg. Lower down the heel. Walk the fingers to the tops of the toes. Walk it over to the left side of the left foot. Lift up the right leg. Right heel, I'm sorry. Good. And then lower down. Come back to the tops of the toes. We're going to pretend that there is 2 pails of water here. You're going to grab the handles of those pails, and you're slowly going to come up one vertebra at a time. Nice. Good. And here, I know we're like a little bit into this, and some people say their intention before their practice. I love being right here, right now, because the breath is finally, hopefully, nice and calm and steady. Bring your hands to heart center, slight bow towards your fingertips. And just state a silent intention for your practice today. It just could be about giving grace to yourself, thanking yourself for making time for you. Maybe thinking about someone who has passed, for someone you love. And then bring your hands down. Let's do a nice twist. Bring your arms forward, sort of like Frankenstein arms. I call this like a bow and arrow motion. So we're going to inhale, Nice space in between the chin and your shoulders. You're going to inhale, bringing back that right arm, kind of like a bow and arrow view. Stretch out that right arm. Soften your shoulders, and you're going to look out. Very nice. Look out over your right chest plate, and let's breathe here for 5 seconds. Good. And you're going to fold back that right arm, coming back to bow and arrow, back to Frankenstein. And let's bring the left arm back. Slowly come back. Bow and arrow. Unfold. Soften the shoulders. Look out over the left chest plate. And breathe here for 5 seconds. Good. Fold back that left arm and come on back to Frankenstein. Nice. And let's just sort of bend the knees and swing the arms. So you're going to swing the arms and then bring it in and into an elbow. So start to get the blood pumping. This is what I love about yoga, at least hatha yoga for this. This is so nice for everyone. Everyone can do this. You can even do it in your chair at home. Good. 2 more. Good. Let's place our hands on our waist. We're going to do a little knee joint exercise. And as we age, we all know that our joints, the cartilage, can deteriorate. You can always use HA+, which is awesome. But we also need to move our muscles and move our joints. So this is a really nice practice now. It's a knee swirl. That's it. Standing in mountain pose, hands on our waist. And then you're going to lift up that right leg. And you're going to pretend that there is a stick in between the big toe and the second toe. And you're on the beach. And you're going to draw a circle in the sand. You're just rotating. I think that yoga should be accessible for everyone and at all ages. And I think this type of yoga really helps that. Let's reverse the circle. And remember to focus on your posture. Soften your shoulders. Nice long spine. And then let it down and just walk it out. And we'll do it on the other side. Rooting down through the right foot. Lift up the left knee. There's that imaginary stick. We're on the beach. And we're going to draw a circle in the sand. And breathe. Relax the jaw. Soften the eyes. Reverse the circle. And bring it down and just walk it out. Good. Nice. So we have a really nice, calm place right now. We're going to start to build up some energy and we're going to do our sun salutations. So standing at the top of the mat, hands at heart center. You're going to bend the knees, raise the arms up. A little back bend up at the top. Forward fold. You're going to lift up halfway. And then hands on the mat. Right leg back. Then the left into down dog. Exhale. Come from down dog to plank. Engage the belly. Lower down. Cobra. Curl the toes under, down dog. Exhale. Look through to the hands, right leg forward, then the left, and greet the sun. Raise the arms up. Do it again, forward fold. Come up halfway. Hands on the mat, left leg back, then the right, down dog. Exhale, come through to plank. Lower down. Cobra. Curl the toes under, down dog. Exhale. Bring the left leg forward, then the right, and greet the sun. Forward fold. Come up halfway. Hands on the mat, Right leg back, left, down dog. Come through to plank, lower down. Cobra, curl the toes under, down dog. Exhale. From here, bring down both knees, coming back down to like a tabletop. And let's do a nice twist called thread the needle. So you're going to bring that left hand just below your eye gaze, sweep up the right arm, and come down. You're going to snake or thread the needle through the space, bringing that right shoulder down, and just exhale. Come back to tabletop, and we'll do it on the other side. Bring that right hand just below your eye gaze, sweep up the left arm. Bring it down, thread the needle. Let that left shoulder come down and breathe. Good. And bring it down. Okay. From here, we're going to bring the right leg in between your feet, and you're going to curl the left toes under. So you're sort of like in a high lunge here first. Let's do lizard. Lizard is a nice one. So you're just going to bring in that right shoulder and scooch out your right leg a little bit. Real nice hip opener. And you can even just roll gently onto the side of your foot, opening up that right hip. And then bring it back. Come back to down dog. Exhale. Look through to the hands. Bring that left leg forward in a high lunge. And then we'll move right here to lizard. So you're going to bring your left hand inside and your left shoulder in. And you can just gently come out onto the left side of your left foot, opening up the hip, engage through the right glute. And then bring it down. And then bring the left leg back into down dog. Exhale. Good. Looking through to your hands. Let's bring that right leg forward. Bring the footing, your left foot up just a little bit, just a step up, okay? And we're going to come right up. And we're going to do warrior one. Oh, wait a minute. We forgot triangle. We're going to do triangle. I'm so sorry. So with triangle, let's stand here in Tadasana first. Okay. And you're going to bring your right leg back. You're on that same plane, like of an imaginary balance beam. Okay. You're going to open up your pelvis to the right. Arms parallel to the floor. You tilt your pelvis to the right, reaching out to the left a little bit with your arms. And you're going to engage through the spine, lifting up the right arm up towards 12 o'clock as if you're on a huge clock face. And open up the heart space and breathe here. And then bend the left knee, come back up. Let's do this on the other side. So bring the right leg back up, back into mountain pose. Bring the left leg back. Open the pelvis to the left. Left big toe is pointed up towards that top left corner of the mat. I'm sorry. Arms parallel to the floor. Pelvis tilts to the left, reaching out to the right. Elongate through the spine as you tilt over, sort of like a little teapot, lifting up that left arm up towards the ceiling. And breathe. And you can look straight ahead. Your eye gaze can just be here centered. If you wanted more of a challenge, you can tilt your neck and look up towards the left thumb and try to focus on the left thumb with both eyes. That's another challenge. And breathe. And then bend the knee and come up to standing. And then bring that left leg up to Tadasana. Now let's come through, we're going to do pyramid pose. Nice chest expander. Bringing the left leg back. You're on railroad tracks. Arms come behind you, interlace the fingers, stretch them down that back leg, and you're going to open up your heart space. And then forward fold. And sort of like imagine that you're like replicating an ironing board. So just come to the halfway point. And at that halfway point, I want you to really be aware internally of like some small adjustments here. Tip the chin in towards the neck. Lift up through the arms, feeling the shoulder blades squeezing together. Let go of the hands and just bring them down here to frame the shin and curl towards that front leg. Exhale. Rooting down through the arches of the feet, come up to the halfway point. And then all the way up to standing. Let's complete it on the other side. Bring the left leg forward. And the right leg comes back. Arms behind us. Interlace the fingers. Stretch them down that back leg. Chest expanding, opening up towards the ceiling. It's as if you have swallowed a flashlight and it's just beaming up through your heart space towards the ceiling. And now forward fold. Coming to that ironing board position, tip the chin in towards the neck, elongate through the spine, lift up through the arms. And then let go of the hands, let them just frame the shin, and then curl the torso towards that front leg. Exhale. Good. Lift up to the halfway point. And then all the way up. Okay. And come back up to Tadasana. And from here, we're going to come into our warrior postures. Warrior one, bringing the left leg back. Bend the right knee, the left big toe is pointed up towards that top left corner. Bend the right knee. Hips are level and they're pointed towards like two headlights pointing towards the front. Lift up through the arms, soften the shoulders, engage through the belly and the left glute, and breathe. You can look up if you want, or you can look straight ahead. Bring down the arms. So like we did before in pyramid pose, we're going to interlace our fingers again and stretch them down that back leg. And then we're going to lower the chest. We're going to come into humble warrior. Sort of just nudge your right shoulder next to your right knee. Lower the head below the heart space. Coming into humble warrior. Breathing. Root down through both arches of the feet. Lift up the torso. Shake it out. Bring that left foot forward. Just walk it out a little bit. You can feel all that energy along the right side. We just want to now bring it over to the left side. So we're going to bring the right leg back. First into warrior one on this side. Bend the left knee. Stack that left knee above the ankle. Engage through the glute. Engage through the belly. Lift up through the arms. Soften the shoulders. And breathe here. For 4. Good. Bring down the arms. Interlace the fingers. Stretch them down that back leg. And lower the torso. Let the head just dangle. Root down through both arches of the feet. Right now, a lot of the weight is propelling forward on your left leg. But, remember to keep the energy in the right leg too, so that both both legs are a part of the action. Relax the jaw. Breathe. And then lift up through the torso. Shake out. Bring that right leg forward. Good. Nice. Let's continue with the warrior postures. We're going to come into warrior 2. So we're going to bring the left leg back. Similar to triangle, similar footing. We're on that same plane, okay? Bending the right leg. Pelvis is open, similar to triangle. Arms parallel to the floor. And then you're going to look out over the right fingertips. And I could just see, I just made a little adjustment. My knee started to go in a little bit. I don't want that to happen. I want to just bring it back because I want it aligned with my ankle. Soften the shoulders, find the breath. Breathe here for 5. Lift up the left palm. Come back into reverse warrior, stretching up towards the ceiling. Breathing. Lower the right elbow down. Just let it hover over that right thigh. Sweep up the left arm. So you're in, I'm going to come this way just so you can see what it looks like. So this is extended side angle. You're going to push out through the outer edge of the left foot, creating a nice diagonal line of energy. Find the breath. Try not to cave in. I can feel myself doing that. I want to open up my heart space and breathe for 5. And come on up. From here, let's do a forward fold. Nice, cooling forward fold. So both toes are pointed towards the long side of the mat. Arms come behind us. And we're just going to forward fold. Maybe let the hands dangle towards the floor. Maybe use a block. Let the head dangle. Whew, nice and cooling to the brain. And then lift it up all the way. Good. Now we need to do this sequence on the other side. So we're going to bring our left foot pointed up towards the short side of the mat. The right leg back. Again, similar to triangle, you're on that same plane. You want to point your right big toe up towards the top right corner of the mat. Bend the left knee. Open up the pelvis to the side of the room. Arms parallel to the floor. Soften your shoulders. Nice. Look out over the left fingertips and breathe here for 5. Lift up the palm. Come back in reverse warrior. Lower down the left elbow. Just let it hover over the left thigh. Now remember, we're going to do extended side angle. So you're sweeping up that right arm, pushing out through the outer edge of the right foot. Nice, nice diagonal line of energy, Ashley. Breathe. And come back to warrior 2. And then lift up the knee. Pivot in that left foot. Let's do a forward fold on this side. So you're just going to bring the arms down, lower the torso. Nice cooling posture, cooling the brain. And then slowly come up. Maybe micro bend in the knees to get yourself up. Okay, from here we're going to do goddess pose. So you're just going to bring in the heels, and your top toes are pointed towards the 2 corners of the long side of the mat. And you're just going to come into a squat, lowering your bum, nice tall spine. Bring your arms into goalposts and breathe. And imagine that you're up against a wall and you have to support that wall with with your legs. And really great inner thigh stretch. Breathing. And come out of that. All good. Let's pivot. Or just heel toe the feet together. Okay. Now let's come into our balance postures. I'm going to do Vrikshasana, tree pose. So, and some of the other postures that we did before have prepped us for this point, like knee swirls. So we're going to stand in Tadasana. Maybe your hands are at your sides. Maybe they're at your waist. Rooting down through the left foot. You're going to lift up the right knee and then turn it out Place it on the calf muscle, or if you're okay with it, you can bring it up to the inner thigh, just not in the knee joint. Hands at heart center. Focus on one drishti point. That's one unmoving point in front of you. Soften eyes. Lift up through the arms. Lifting, growing your branches, softening through the shoulders, and breathe here for 5. Bring down. Hands to heart center. Knee to the center of the room and down to the floor and walk it out. Okay. We did on one side. We're going to do it on the other side. Vrikshasana, tree pose. Rooting down through the right foot. Lift up the left foot and turn it out and place it on the calf or the inner thigh. And let that inner thigh or the calf muscle engage with the foot. Hands at heart center. Breathe. Grow your branches up through your eyebrow space. And breathe. Yep, and you may wobble. That's okay. Come back to it. And then bring your hands down. Bring the knee to the center of the room and down to the floor. Nice. Okay. We're going to do a nice calm posture where we're just working on the breath and lifting up through, lifting up through. Okay, we're going to come up onto our toes. And we're going to lift our arms to the front of the room. Thank you. To the sides of the room. Okay. And the sides of the room. Front of the room. Sides of the room. And then we're going to remain up on our toes and slowly come down. Maybe wibble wobble down. Come on down to your bum. Sweep the feet out in front of you. Coming into Dandasana. Dandasana looks like a letter L. Feet are flexed. Hamstrings are engaged. Quads are engaged. Calf muscles engaged. Lift up the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. And then forward fold. And then curl the spine. Maybe grab a hold of the ankles. Let the head just dangle. Good. And then stretch out beyond the toes. Come all the way back up. Bring the arms down. Okay. We're going to just do a little bit of abdominals. And then we're going to move to our inverted action and then Shavasana. So you're going to lift up, place your hands underneath your knees. And you're going to lift up one leg and then the other. Coming into upward Navasana. Rooting down through the sits bones. Breathe. And when I always want to start to collect some energy up here, I want to just soften that. Stretch the arms out. Shift to the right. Beautiful. Center. To the left. Back to center. Coming into Baddha Konasana. So just the soles of the feet together. Knees come out. Sit up nice and tall. Forward fold. Nice hip opener. And then lift up. We're going to stretch, bring the knees up and stretch down. We're going to lower your spine completely onto the floor. And we're at the place where we're going to do an inverted action. And this is great for reversing the lymphatic fluids. I like using a block, or you can always put a blanket by the wall and put your legs up the wall. Take a block or a pillow, and you're just going to lift it underneath your sacrum. And then you're going to lift up your legs. And all the way up. Maybe place your hands out to your sides, palms up, receiving great energy. Reversing the lymphatic flow. This is great for people who are on their feet all day, teachers, nurses, doctors, waitresses, everyone. So many people work on their feet all day and they need to reverse that lymphatic fluids. And it's very cooling too. And you could be here anywhere from like 3 minutes to 5 minutes. We're going to lower our legs now. Bring the feet down to the floor. Remove the block. And now we're going to come into Shavasana. So you're just going to stretch your legs out. Shavasana means corpse pose. So you're just laying on the mat. Hip palms up to receive energy. You may put like a blanket underneath your head, or if you're cold, you can put your socks on. And I'm going to talk you through a guided relaxation. I'm going to talk Ashley through a guided relaxation as she's laying in Shavasana. So from here, I want you to use the breath as your guide. Watch as the breath moves through the center of the brain to the eyebrow center, to the temples. Watch as the breath moves through along the hairline to the jaw. Relax the jaw, relax the tongue. Notice the breath at the very tip of the nose. The warmth of the inhale and the coolness of the exhale. Watch as the breath moves to the throat. From the throat across the collarbones, settles into the shoulders. Breath moves through the arms, through the elbow joints, all the way down through the lower arm. Watch as the breath moves through each of the fingertips. Flows back up through the arms, up to the shoulders. From the two shoulder points, imagine you're drawing a large letter V and come to the heart center. Allow the breath to reside at the heart. Moving through the sternum. Let the breath reside at the navel center, the pelvis, through the hips and the upper leg, the knee joint, the lower leg, and let the breath move all the way out through the soles of the feet. Let's reverse the path now. The breath moves back through the feet, up through the legs. Let's revisit each chakra point, the pelvis, navel center, heart, throat, eyebrow center, all the way back through the brain and out through the crown of the head. If you have your own mantra at this point, you'd probably quietly state it to yourself. If you don't have your own mantra, you could always go, Om. I am so hum. I am. And now, on your next breath, you'll take your time to turn over onto your side. You can bring your hands out, bring your palms together, and rub them together as if you're over a fire. Get them nice and warm. Let the hands just come over your eyes, let the heat seep into your eye sockets, massaging your temples, cheekbones. And then you can just place your hands on the floor and just gently press up into a seated position. And we'll bring our hands to heart center. Slight bow towards our fingertips. We are grateful for the good health in our bodies, clarity in our minds, and for peace. And you can bring your thumbs up to your eyebrow center, and I'll say the wish for peace. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Peace, Peace, Peace. And forward fold.
To seal in the benefits of your practice today.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Mm.